welcome back to part 2 of the Moonwood Mill. Moonwood Mill, what is this? What was the video title called? Moonwood Mill Forest Tower, where I didn't even put anything in the tower, which you'll see in this video. I made it like it was supposed to be the whole point of the build, and I did absolutely nothing with it. But last video, I built the entire exterior with the landscaping. I also figure out the floor plan. So this one, all I have to do is furnish it and clutter it. And the most difficult part for me is like putting wallpaper in. I always struggle with that. I struggled with it on the exterior, and that doesn't change for this one. I use like the same 5 wallpapers in every single build, and I've been trying not to use the same ones, but it happens anyway. So I've been trying to change it up. And like right now, when I'm placing this bed, I'm changing it up like a lot because I never use that swatch of that bed. And I don't often place the bay window seats because I can never find a swatch that I like. But I think that like building with reshade on or G shade, it makes me appreciate some more swatches than I usually do. So that's good at least. And like for bathrooms, I do the same bathrooms every single time. But this one, I actually put effort into the bathrooms. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I posted a reel and I put both of the bathrooms in it, which is shocking. And like I did use the same toilet and bathtub that I always use in every single one of my builds. I use the vampire set all the time. It just like it fits into my style of builds really well. I started experimenting with putting in, I think it's the Realm of Magic toilet, and it's pink and it's cute. So I use that in this build. I use it in my next build too. That is going to be a video as well. I already recorded it and it's completely, the build is done. I just have to edit it and do the voiceover and stuff. So it'll be good. Like, I feel like it's very similar to the style. I'm going to challenge myself to build something that's slightly different so that it's not the same build over and over again, but just in different sizes. Because I think that's what the next one kind of is. It's like, I don't know. I definitely use way different furniture, so maybe I'm just doubting myself for like no reason. It's probably like different enough, but yeah, I think I'm gonna end up posting on here like once a week is the goal. And right now, I have this video and then 2 others because I think I might always split my builds into 2 parts just so that it's easier to watch, so it's not like a 40-minute video that you kind of have to break apart yourself on if you want to watch the whole thing. So I think that like 2 videos is just easier and like less stressful, and like it's easy to forget to go back to something when you put it like down for a second. So I think personally I would prefer 2 videos at a time, so that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, and this living room, okay, this house is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. So the living room, there's not a lot of space, as you can see. I do manage to fit like a lot of stuff into here though, because I placed that couch in front of the doorway a little bit, which like I thought the door wouldn't be able to open, and I didn't care about that because I figured like, oh, like if someone lives in this house and the space is really small, they'll just keep that door locked and they'll have the other door functional. But the Sims use the door like that's right by the couch, so it's completely fine. It works out perfect. And when cluttering this, I had decided to just place the items down and then worry about lowering them later, which I've never done. I usually lower each one each time, but I recently learned while building this house was that if you hold down Alt in Tool, you can select multiple objects to lower. And I'd always seen people doing it in reels and stuff, but for some reason, I never really looked into it. And I was like, I'll look into that one day. I'll be able to figure it out. And I didn't. And so when I was placing all the rocks around, I was like, experiment, just try and experiment and figure it out. And it took me maybe like a few minutes of just pressing random buttons. I had like a general idea because I had learned to like shift control to copy and paste stuff, so I knew it had to be somewhere around there. So it makes it like easier to build now. I really love that the werewolves mirror. I kind of wish that I'd kept it in that space. And if you notice, I placed a crystal ball on the table because this was also supposed to be a witchy build, and then it didn't end up being that. I placed a cauldron and like a couple of witchy objects like that, like crystal ball, and maybe, oh no, and like another mini cauldron in the kitchen after. Because I was like, it needs to be witchy. This is what I was planning on doing. This is usually what I like to build. And then I didn't do that at all. I don't even know what this build would be. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. But it's not that. My next build also isn't witchy at all. And I didn't even try to make it that. So I didn't even put a cauldron in that one. I was like, Megan, you'll get there. You'll do a build video with, like, that's meant for a spellcaster. Maybe if I do base game and Realm of Magic only, because I've always wanted to do a build. Oh, my voice is going. I always wanted to do like a bunch of builds where it's base game and one pack only for Instagram or Twitch. It was one of those, probably both, probably Twitch and Instagram. And I think that, like, it would be easier to organize in my head better if I did it as YouTube videos so that I could kind of keep track of which ones I do. So maybe that'll be, like, one of the next ones I do as a base game. I think that'll be fun. I did that, like, maybe a couple months ago. I did, like, a lot of base game builds, and I burnt myself out. That's, like, a common theme for me. I get really excited about something, and then I do it a bunch of times, and then I'm like, I can't ever play this game again. And I'm like, time for my hibernation. And that's just what happens. Oh, and this table doesn't work like this. So I had to play test it again because I realized I lied when I was saying it was play tested, because I was like, I didn't actually play test a lot of this. The table didn't work, so I had to fix it and move it up a little bit. And your Sims still do get stuck in the like window area. I can't help that. Sims are weird. They lock themselves in weird places all the time. You just have to teleport them out at that point. So my next build, it's way worse. I don't think it's going to be functional at all. It was causing me such a mess. And then at one point I realized it was a rock that I had placed off the lot, like using tool, was not letting half the items in the house like be usable. So I don't know anymore. I don't know what's usable in that house, but I guess that doesn't matter right now because you're not going to see it for at least another week. I'll be posting like preview pictures on Instagram at least. So maybe it is relevant because right now it's like Tuesday. So this feels like a very far away time to that build. But when you're watching this, it'll be like a week, or maybe it'll already be up if you're watching it like way down the line. I don't know. So I put a lot of effort into this dining room. I'm saying that I said that about the bathrooms too. It makes it seem like I don't put effort into my builds, but interiors for a long time I couldn't do it anymore because I got tired of it. So I feel like this is the first interior that I put a lot of effort into again, unless I'm remembering incorrectly. But like, I don't know. At one point I stopped doing interiors because it was just not fun anymore. It's hard when it's just like the same items over and over again. And at least with this one, I am kind of keeping it in my like the back of my head to use stuff that I don't normally use. And that kind of helped to go directly into the next build that I needed to do. And also like recording the video and editing it kind of breaks up how often I'm building. So that's also like a benefit because I'm not immediately going into one build to another one. Because on Instagram, all I have to do is post. Because like I have G shades, so I don't even have to edit my pictures anymore. So like it's fine. And thankfully, I understand editing a lot better now. So that's really good and it's going to be really helpful with like editing these without a lot of stress, because if I was stressed doing it, I would probably like stop doing it and then pick it back up again like a month later. The only like major struggle I had when trying to get the last video out was the rendering time, because no matter what I tried, it was horrible. It would take like at one point it said like a day and a half, and I'm like, this isn't right. I know it's not right. I don't know how to fix this. And I know that if like anyone who's watching edits videos all the time, they're probably like, Megan, I could have helped you. You didn't have to like do that for that long, because it was days of me trying to figure it out. And I ended up getting it to work. I tried so many solutions that made my problem worse, and then turns out all I had to do was lower the rendering speed, which like ironically sped up the rendering process. It was just like, because I had to change it from 100% to I think like 25% or 10%. And it took, like, the build took a couple of hours to render, but at that point that felt like nothing. And so I was just watching BTS Bon Voyage videos while it rendered, and then like by the time I went to bed it was done, and I was like, oh my god, thank god. At one point I also rendered the wrong video, and it rendered like in 20 minutes, and I was like, whoa, and I was like celebrating, so happy. I'm like, see what happens when you're just patient. And then it was the wrong one. It was like a small clip of the video that I had to render, but I was like, okay, if that worked, this has to work, and it did, and it was just a little bit longer. So I'm making sure that I do this voiceover early, so if that problem happens, I'm ready and I'm prepared for it. I also wanted to remember to say thank you to anyone who watched my first video and sent me a message or commented on it. I was waving to my webcam when I said that, because I'm used to streaming. So, I don't know. Things happen, I guess. But this is the bathroom that I had put a lot of effort into. I think I might have missed me decorating the other bathroom. I miss me decorating a lot. I haven't been paying attention to the video very well. You would think that I could concentrate on like talking and watching the video, but apparently I can't. But I placed a lot of clutter items in that island living shelf. I did the same thing in the kitchen, which I really liked, and that might become a common thing that I use in my builds, because I kind of get tired of the same cabinets all the time. So having shelves definitely helps. Maybe I could even upload a shelf as a room, so I kind of have stuff pre-made in case I don't want to clutter. Because that's bound to happen. It happens all the time. So, but this kid's bedroom, I I decorated completely around the fact that the bed and window are kind of technically supposed to be together. It's doesn't really look like that because there's a border, I guess, or like I don't know, there's like a little wall on the bed, but just pretend like that mattress is like in the window. I would love to have a bed like that. And just like a stained glass, I feel like that's really nice. That would be really peaceful, I think, but I'm glad that it is at least functional that way a little bit. Maybe I could, if I ever wanted to do it again, maybe I'll play around and see different things. I attempt to like put a couple of items in the window as if they're like a part of the bed space, like right here. But like when you're using these windows, it's super annoying because you have to place it outside the room and raise it up. So I did two of them and then I was done. I was like, no more. Two is enough. I did that somewhere else too, I think, in this build. What was that? I don't even know now. But that's like a common thing of just placing a couple of items when I'm planning on going all out. I kind of like the same with this one. The clutter is kind of minimal. A lot of stuff actually got deleted too, so I had to clutter it twice when I was doing the beginning video of this. So, but I know that the video is about to end soon. I'm not gonna continue talking over the entire like after the video ends. So I'll say a goodbye now and thank you for like watching the video. If you watched both of them, I appreciate it. And I'm on Instagram. I stream on Twitch whenever I'm feeling up for it. And I'll be posting weekly here. I'm also on Twitter, but I'm not like I don't post as much of my builds on Twitter as I do on Instagram. I usually forget to do that. So, you know, most active on Instagram. That's where you can find me. But thank you. Bye.